looking at the OWASP top 10, A7, identity. There's a ginormous category, and it's down the list of the OWASP top 10. It's reduced by several positions because we're in an era where we have standardized frameworks and identity providers that do a better job of solving this problem. So authentication is an easier problem to solve in the modern era, I would dare say. What makes this complicated, though, is identity and authentication. They cover many, many other topics, from password issues to credential storage to lookup recovery tokens for forgot passwords and an account recovery, how to handle sessions or modern JSON web tokens, how to handle identity protocols like OAuth 2 and OpenID Connect. It's complicated, super complicated. So, but how strong should your login system be? That's a really good question. So in order to answer this question, can you see? US standards again. I just gave a talk to Canadian researchers. They're all using American standards too. It's great. Don't worry. You don't need UK standards. Go American standards and all is well. I'm being a little comical, or I think I'm funny. No one else does. But let's move on. So NIST 863, the Digital Media Authentication Framework for US government and companies. They have 3 levels of assurance level. A1 means password only. A2, you're doing multi-factor. If you're using SMS, you got to offer another stronger factor like app level push. And AAL level 3 says use FIDO, right? Use FIDO, which is like a YubiKey or a smart card, cryptographic exchange. So how strong should you be? The standard defines a workflow. All I care about in this, just for this exercise, is low risk of sensitive data, no other risk. Are you high for any of the above? No, I'm not high, Dennis. Do you assess any moderate personal safety? No. Do you have moderate for any of the remaining categories? No. Do you have low for sensitive information? Why, yes. So you should be using some form of multi-factor. If I see an important site using password only, that's negligence in 2021. Multi-factor, at least offering it, is a low baseline for any sensitive data, and I'm still struggling to get some of my clients to move to multi-factor. We should have done that a decade ago. I always recommend multi-factor, but that's just my opinion. The reason why I like NIST 863 is because I now have a very well-written public standard to point to push folks to MFA. So when it comes to policy for passwords, we have a big change in this standard. Again, NIST 863, we're recommending a whole new set of recommendations. From you got to use multi-factor for sensitive data. Don't put context words like your business name into passwords. Don't use the username or the word password for a password. Check against common passwords. Check against breached passwords. Throttle brute force. Get rid of special character rules. Stop using security questions or hints. And stop doing expiration. This is a very different way of doing password policy. But why it's powerful is because it meets up to how we're actually being attacked in the modern era. Why is this a bad password? It's the 32,000th most common password in existence today. And if you get rid of all the junk passwords from common password lists, it's even more popular. Also, it's part of the 600 million passwords that have been breached. It's on public breach lists. And third, got the freaking word password in the middle of it. 3 reasons why you should never allow this password. And if you do, that's a major weakness in your authenticator, which you should fix in some way. When we want to store, let's say we're building passwords systems by ourselves. Hopefully, you're not building authentication systems. You're using an identity provider. But if you're building it yourself, there's really only 3 good algorithms for password storage: Argon 2 ID, bcrypt, or scrypt. If you're a US government FIP system, PBKDF2. But I would use Argon 2 ID. If you look at the password storage cheat sheet, they'll give you, I worked with Scoob from the Hashcat team. It's the mathematician from Hashcat who gave me these very specific minimal recommendations around how you should configure your password storage algorithms. So what do we got here? Here's a couple guides. This is the latest ASVS authentication requirements. That's the latest ASVS session management requirements. And if you're an identity professional, please take a look at 863. I know you don't care about US standards, but it's well written and will still give you some good ideas for your own standards you're working on in your neck of the woods.